execute. Tell me. 10 no value, 1 no value. 10 no value, 1 no value. Tell me. First one, then 10. Okay. Third and fourth is randomly decided or not there. Next. 10 minus 20 no value, 6, 6 no value, 6. 10 minus 20 no value, 6, 6 no value this. Minus 20. Okay. One so second, third, fourth is randomly decided. Tell me. Second, third, fourth is what? Randomly decided. Tell me next one. Okay, then what is the value? 10. What is the value? Again, what is the value, guys? Come on. 10 minus 20, then 10. And this in between no values, again they execute random values are not there. Conclusion on priority value. Low value to high value of @ order. If multiple runners are having what? Same priority, then they will execute. They will be executed in random order or not there? Say something, guys. Then they will be executed in random order or not there, guys? Okay, if no order annotation, these runners will execute in random order. Okay, we can also give priority value by implementing @ order interface or not there. Okay, 1 minute. What I do is, I go to this, I comment this. I go to this, I comment this. I'll make this one implementing what? Ordered interface. Okay, there, add implemented method. Tell me, return order 20. Return order 20. Hey, 0 also can be given, guys. 0 also can be given. Test runner 2. Yeah, tell me. Common. Where is this? Ordered interface. My test runner 2. What is there? My test runner 2. Tell me here, where is this? Return 1. What is there? Return 1. Okay. Here 0, here is what? 1. That's great. Right click, run as Java application. First 1 priority, then first 0 priority, then 1 priority. Come on, command line on 0. That's why it's working or not there. Now the question is, if I give both order annotation and order interface implementation, who gets the higher priority? Which value will be taken as order priority value? Obviously, get order method return value will be taken as priority. See, simple. If 20 is taken, it should execute second. If 0 is taken, it should execute first. First executed means, I must say it is taken what? First one. Run as, what is there? Java application. Tell me. This is the first one. This is the second one. Are you getting my point, my dear? Come on. Super. So which is taken, guys? You observe the output. Command line arguments. 101 Raja this. Command line argument, non-option argument, option argument, all this stuff. Comfortable or not there, guys? Super. If we provide 2 different priority values using what? @ ordered and order interface for a runner class, then which value will be taken? What value will be taken? Which value? The order interface, get order method return value will be taken as what? Priority value. The order interface, get order method return value will be taken as what? Priority value. Are you getting my point there or not there, guys? Here is minus 20, here is what? 15. This runner class priority value is what? 15, because this will get the higher priority. This will definitely get what? Higher priority. Okay, that's about priority values, guys. But there is a small question. While creating a Spring Boot project, generally we don't add any starters. Look at this current project. Did we add any starters, guys? But still, we are getting one jar or lots of jar. We already had a discussion on this. We are getting one jar or lots of jars, guys. Okay, why those jars are coming? Okay, by default, two starters will come. One is Spring Boot starter, one is Spring Boot starter test. That's the reason number one. Reason number two, every Spring Boot starter project is a child project to one parent project that is already there. Is a child project. Is a child project to one parent project that is already there. Are you understanding my statement? Is a child project which is already there. Understanding my statement, guys? Okay, because of these two reasons, we are getting the jars. Okay, what's the use of that parent project? Array, that is called Maven inheritance. Project is already there in Maven central repository that I made as a parent project to our Spring Boot project. So any jars, any plugins, any properties belongs to parent project will also comes to what? Child project. Child project. And moreover, when you add new starters based on the parent project version, the versions of starters will be decided or not there. Observe, look at the pom.xml. Confirmation is, this is our project information. This is our project information. This is what? Parent project information. Convinced, my dear? Come on. This is our project information. This is what? Parent project information. Comfortable, guys? Yes, that's good. Tell me next one. Spring Boot starter test. Spring Boot starter test. Is it happening or not happening? One is Spring Boot starter, one is what? Spring Boot starter test. Okay. These two starters are coming. Am I adding any version there? But still coming now, boss? Come on, my dear. Still coming or not there, guys? So it's because of this version that is decided or not there. Look at Spring Boot starter and starter test versions you decided, you observe, guys. Spring Boot 4.0, how does it know it has to go that one? Because of parent. Okay, now 1 minute. For your reference, I'll change it. 4.0.3. Save this. What this, guys? Save this. Okay, now observe everything else also changed now, my dear. That means one version is deciding versions of all the jars that we added. Come on. Other starter that we add, plugins that we want to use, properties that we want to use, everything is decided or not there. No, you want to override some of them. Override some of them. Okay, you can put properties manually like this. That is giving one version of Java. You don't want that. You want some other version. You can mention over there. No, you want to override certain jar version. You can write version explicitly. Come on. Yes. See, if you create a normal Maven project, so many plugins will come. But here only 1-2 plugins are coming now, my dear. But remaining plugins, they're inherited from parent. You take a normal Maven project, which we learned in core module level. So many things will be there in plugin section or not there. Wait a minute. Don't believe me, show. Let me show my code that IOC pros something is there, na? Not this. Maven. I think this is Maven. No, not this. Yeah. Maven. Pom.xml. Observe. Here no parent tag. That means it's a straight away project. It's not dependent to any other project. Number 1 point. Number 2, in plugin section, so many plugins came. There I am running code, here I am running code. But am I writing those many plugins here? But plugins are there. They came. How they came? From the parent project. The parent project that is there in Spring Boot project will give three things to our Spring Boot project. Number one, jars. Jars will come, plugins will come, and what? Version will come. What will come? Jars will come, plugin will come. Next one, version. Not version, there properties. Properties will be decided. Based on the parent version, these jars, everything will be decided. Okay. That's the reason, though we are not adding multiple, any jars, any starters, still our project is full of jars are not there. So in every Spring Boot project, one parent Spring Boot project will be imported from what? Maven central repo using what? Parent tag as shown below. Parent opening and what? Closing. Group ID, artifact ID, version. This project is ready-made project available in what? Maven central repository and will be inherited to what? Every Spring Boot project giving its what? Common dependencies, properties, and plugins to the child project. Okay, our Spring Boot project. This is going to be our Spring Boot project or not there, guys? Based on the parent Spring Boot project version, lots of things will come to our Spring Boot project, which is nothing but what? Child project. Which is nothing but what? Child project. Are you getting my point there, guys? Basic Spring Boot jar files and dependent, relevant jar file, required plugins, required project properties. Basic Spring Boot jar file, dependent, relevant jar file, required plugin, required project properties. Check it out. To feel these things, look at pom.xml file of what? Spring Boot parent. Procedure is go to Maven repository, search for Spring Boot starter parent, select the starter, select the version, whatever the version we got, guys. Okay, right now let me take the latest version. Okay. I don't write specific number, I write what? Latest. Whatever the latest. Okay, click on what? Pom.xml hyperlink. Let me open that to give the feeling. Yes. mvnrepository.com, guys. What is there? mvnrepository.com. Spring Boot starter parent. Spring Boot starter parent. Spring Boot starter parent. Four point 0.4. That's good. Here is what? Pom.xml. What .xml, guys? Pom. Parent to opening and what? Closing. Group ID, artifact ID, version. Parent to opening and what? Closing. Group ID, artifact ID, version. Okay, na boss? Is that clear, my dear? Come on. This is my group ID. This is my artifact ID. This is my what? Version. So these are the things that are taking place or not there, guys. Okay. Okay. Now, that means it is having its own dependencies. Please remember, for our project, Spring Boot starter parent is the super project. For that one more is there or not there. But from here also, some by default Java version what 17 is coming, but we are overriding with the 21 now, my dear. That means the remaining things will continue as it is or not there. Okay. So now let me open Spring Boot starter dependencies. Spring Boot starter dependencies. Dependencies. Click on what? Search button. Spring Boot starter dependency. Where is that? I'm not getting that. Spring Boot starter dependencies. Search. Correct. Is not there. Okay, I'll remove starter. I'll remove Spring starter. Oh, what's happening? Springboard starter dependencies. How come it is not coming, guys? Okay. Springboard starter parent. Let me check once again. Springboard starter parent. Search. Yeah, it has come. Okay. There. Select the version. Select the version. Spring Boot dependencies. This is the mistake. We misread the content. Spring Boot dependencies. Orna 404. Here is what? Pom.xml. Here what? Pom.xml. See, this there is no parent. There is no parent. Okay, here also some properties are there now, guys. So many properties are there. Here also some dependencies are there now, my dear. They come to parent project. Parent project gives to our project. That's the reason we are not adding many jars. We are not adding many plugins. We are not adding many property because they are coming from already available projects hierarchy. Both these projects are there in central repository. That's the reason if you take a normal Maven project, see, main dependents will come, but remaining jars will not come. But here coming because of what? The main things that are added are not there. The Maven inheritance concept that is used are not there, guys. Yeah, this you have to click. Here is the hierarchy. Our Spring Boot project extends from what? Spring Boot starter parent that extends from Spring Boot dependencies. That extends from what? Spring Boot dependencies. Is it not interesting, my dear? Come on, everyone. That's good. Our Spring Boot project extends from Spring Boot starter parent that extends from Spring Boot dependencies. That's good, right? Order. Okay, this is about this. I think debugging we already discussed. Fine. Okay. Procedure to perform. Spring Boot core FAQs. Debugging we already discussed it now, guys. What is the difference between Spring and Spring Boot? I think we have given big table for it. But when someone asks immediate answer, okay, Spring provides abstraction on Java JWE technologies. Spring Boot provides abstraction on Spring. Right? Okay. Next one. Spring, compared to technology, Spring use the simplified code. Compared to Spring Boot, simplifies what? Compared to Spring Boot simplifies the coding. Okay. Avoids the boilerplate code related to Java JWE technology. Who? Spring. Avoids the boilerplate code related to Spring itself. Right? Like this. What is Spring Boot formula with respect to Spring? Spring Boot is equal to Spring minus XML configurations plus auto configuration. Spring Boot is equal to Spring minus XML configuration plus auto con. What is auto configuration in Spring Boot? Based on the special jars or starters that are added. Okay. A lot of common things will take place, like making certain predefined class as Spring Bean, embedded database, embedded servers, connectivity, etc., etc. Right, my dear? Super. What is starter in what? Spring Boot. A special jar. Who, when we add that one to even our Gradle project, we will get main jar file, dependent jar files, and relevant jar file. How does starter is different from what? Jar file. How does the starter is different from what? Jar file. Okay. The starter is different from jar file. Starter is advanced jar file, guys. When you add normal jar file, you will get main and dependent jars. When you add what? Starter, you will get main, dependent, and relevant jar. And starters are the reasons for auto configuration. Explain about brownfield project and what? Greenfield project. Explain about brownfield project and what? Greenfield project. Understanding my statement, guys? Yeah, tell me. When I use the term brownfield project, okay, it's an extension of existing project, guys. It's a extension of existing project, adding new features to existing project. What about greenfield project? Developing the project from what? Scratch level. Explain at the rate Spring Boot application annotation. It's a combination of what, guys? Come on. Huh? At the rate enable auto configuration plus configuration plus component scan. What's the difference between value and common configuration properties annotation? Value for single value injection, configuration properties for what? Bulk injection, right? What is layered application? Keeping different logics in different classes or files and making them talking with each other is called as what? Layered application development or not there? Is definitely called as what? Layered application development. What is a layered application? How does dependency injection and lookup concepts will be used in what? Real time. How does dependency injection and lookup concepts will be used in what? Real time. Tell me. While developing layered application, we inject data source to DAO, DAO to service, service to controller. But controller class object will be gathered in client application by calling ctx.getBean method or not there. What is JDBC connection pool? It's a factory containing what? Set of readily available JDBC connection object before actually being used. What is there? Before actually being used. How JDBC connection pool and data source are what? Interrelated. Data source object points to JDBC connection pool. Agree with me, my dear? Data source object points to what? JDBC connection pool. Are you getting my point there, guys? How does dependency injection and lookup concepts will be used in what? Real time. What is JDBC connection pool? How JDBC connection pool and data sources are what? Interrelated. What is data source algorithm in what? Spring Boot application. What application, guys? What is data source algorithm in what? Spring Boot application. First priority to whom? First priority to whom, guys? Hikari CP. Second one, first Tomcat CP. Next one, Apache DB CP2. Last one, Oracle UCP. Explain various popular data sources, C3P0, Vibur, and these four. What's the difference between property file and what? YML file. Property file is what? Key and value based. And where is what? Node based. Hierarchical node. Hierarchical node. YML is hierarchical node. And we have seen many things guys about those things. What are the profiles in Spring and Spring Boot application? Keeping same project running from different environments is nothing but working with profiles are not there. In how many ways we can activate what profile? Using property file or YML file. Next, using property file or what? YML file. Also using what? System properties. Explain at the rate profile annotation. At the rate profile annotation is there to keep certain class in certain profile. We use it or not there. If you want to make user-defined Spring Bean or predefined Spring Bean working for certain profile, we have to use what? At the rate profile annotation. Explain runners and their use cases in what? Real time. Explain runners and their use cases in what? Real time. Tell me. Runners and their use cases. What? How does it mean, guys? Runners and their use cases in what? Real time. Okay. In one-time execution logics we place, guys. We don't write code in main method of any main class. We put that logic in run method of runner class are not there. What's the difference between command line runner and what? Application runner. Both are for same purpose, but okay, the run method of command line runner will get command line arguments as string array. The run method of what? Application runner will get the command line arguments in the form of what? Application arguments object. What object, guys? What is the difference between program arguments and what? VM argument in run configurations of what? Eclipse IDE. Program argument represents command line argument. Okay, VM argument represents what? System properties. What properties, guys? System. What is the difference between, what is there? What is the difference between non-option args and option args of command line args? Non-option means only values will be there. Option argument means what? Key and values will be there. Explain different starter that are given in what? Spring Boot. All starters are given for auto configuration. Spring Boot starter, JDBC. Spring Boot starter, JPA. Spring Boot starter, parent. Like this, a number of starters are there or not there. How can we make certain predefined class not participating in what? Auto configuration activity. Not participating in what? Auto configuration activity. Not participating in what? Auto configuration activity. Are you getting my point, my dear? Come on. Super. Explain about Spring Boot starter parent project. What is there? Explain about Spring Boot starter parent project. What is this, guys? Explain about Spring Boot starter parent project. Because of that, we will get control on what? Plugins, jars that are added to class path are not there, guys. What is the benefit of making every Spring Boot starter parent project as the parent project of what? Our Spring Boot project. Benefit is there or not there, guys? Yeah, definitely benefit will be there, no doubt in that. Definitely benefit will be there, no doubt in that. Are you getting my point there, guys? Runners class utilization in what? Mini project. Here is runners class utilization in the mini project. Yeah. This is how we write the logic or not there, guys. Calling ctx.getBean method having bean ID to get Spring Bean class object reference comes under dependency lookup operation. Using @auto-void in Spring Bean classes to assign or inject one Spring Bean class object to what? Another Spring Bean class object comes under what? Dependency injection. By adding runner class support to the Spring Boot projects, we can completely eliminate dependency lookup operation from the Spring Boot projects. Runners are introduced from what? Spring Boot. That means they do not work in what? Spring framework. They work only in what? Spring Boot framework. They work only in what? Spring Boot framework. If we can use runners effectively, we can completely We can complete entire application only using what? Dependency injection support, not involving any kind of dependency lookup operation. Not involving any kind of dependency lookup operation. I hope you are getting my point, my dear. If we can use runners effectively, we can complete what? Entire application only using what? Dependency injection support, not involving any kind of what? Dependency lookup. See, look at mini project with runners, guys. Is there anywhere I called ctx.getBean method after involving runners, boss? No. Okay, with this, what we completed, guys? Spring Boot core module. Next, what is there? Spring Boot data JPA. But before that, okay, I'll introduce today itself, no doubt in that. Okay. Let me give workspace, entire all this stuff one by one. 2026 Spring Boot core. I think already given, na? Fine. No problem then. Then classroom applications. I think up to March 3rd I have given. Today is March 24th, right? So we have to keep them ready or not there, guys. More. File upload, guys. File upload. Okay. E-Drive. Tell me, guys. Workspaces. Spring. Workspaces. Spring. Tell me. Next one. 710. 1, 2, 3. Right click. 7-zip. Right click 7-zip. Up to. Tell me what is there. March. March how much, guys? March 24th, 2026. March 24th, 2026.zip. Comfortable, guys? Okay, no problem. E-Drive, class content, Spring. 619. Spring Boot data, JPA. Okay. What's our batch code? 710, paste. View as a list. Here is what? 710. Okay, at least a few numbers will change, guys. Later we will worry about other things. 710. 710. That's good. Hmm. Introduction to Spring Boot Data JPA. Open with what? Paint. Yeah, forget about that. First, you worry about JDBC, Hibernate, Spring ORM, Spring Data JPA. Okay, all these are there to develop the persistence logics. First, we understand what is persistence. Some terminologies related to persistence. Then we'll come to these frameworks, module, technologies, whatever it is. Persistence means it's all about saving and managing data for long time. How it is possible? It's possible up if we start utilizing other than RAM memory to save the data. If you use RAM memory, okay, then once application execution is over, that data gone. All our objects, collections, arrays, variables, everything allocates memory in JVM memory, heap and stack. And this JVM memory is part of RAM. Once application execution is over, come on, once the application execution is over, tell me guys, the JVM memory will be vanished because it is there in RAM. And RAM provides memory only during execution, not after the execution. You all know that, right? We all know that. Next one is what, guys? Persistence store. The place where data will be stored and what? Managed for long time. Files, database, software, and what? Etc. The place where data will be stored and managed for what? Long time. Files, database, software, and what? Etc. Persistence operations. Insert, update, delete, select operation performed on what? DB table are called persistence operations. What operations, guys? Persistence operations. Everyone getting my point there, guys? Also called as what? CORD operation. CORD operations means what? C for create, U for update, R for read, D for delete. C for create, U for update, R for read, D for what? Delete. So these are the things, my dear. Come on. Yes. Persistence technology or what? Framework. It is a technology or framework using which we develop what? Persistence logic to perform what? Persistence operation. Nothing but what, guys? CORD operation. JDBC, persistence technology. Hibernate, persistence framework. Spring Data JPA, persistence framework. Persistence technology framework is given for developing what? For developing persistence logic to perform persistence operations on the persistence data of persistence store. Okay. See, I think you got the clarity. Ultimately, persistence technology or a framework is given for developing persistence logic to perform persistence operations, okay, on the persistence store like files, database, software. Everywhere persistence is there or not there. Simple. JDBC, Hibernate, Spring ORM, Spring Data JPA, all these are persistence technologies or framework that are given to develop what? Persistence logic, to perform persistence operations, nothing but code operation on the persistence data of nothing but DB table records or persistence store, either a file or a database. Okay, this is good. Sir, why not file? Why we are preferring database software? Files are having so many limitations as persistence store or not. Files are not bad, but as a persistence store, they are bad, right? Okay. Limitations of files as what? Persistence stores. Cannot store a huge amount of data. Can it store huge amount of data, guys? Next, no security. No support for SQL. No support for applying constraint. PK, FK, and etc. What is there, guys? PK, FK, and etc. Do you think we can apply these constraints nicely, guys? No. Retrieving data by applying multiple conditions is very complex or not there. So performing delete and update operations is quite complex or not there, guys. We cannot keep files in what? Relationship. Comparing one file with what? Another file is very complex process or not there, guys. Suppose I have a SBI bank, 30 crore or 40 crore customers are there. If I start storing them in file, can it maintain that data, guys? No. Is there any security for file data? No. Is there any query language support? No. No support for applying constraint. Can we have primary key constraint, foreign key constraint, guys? Think about files, my dear. IO streams file, core Java. Retrieving data by applying multiple conditions is easy, guys? No. Okay. Performing delete and update operation is very complex. You recollect your core Java learning while teaching IO stream. Faculty might have taught about how to read data, how to write data. Did you ever talk about how to delete the data? How to edit the existing data? Because it's very complex. But in SQL, in database, simple query. We cannot keep files in relationship. Can I take parent file, child file, foreign key kind of thing? No. Comparing one file with another file is very complex or not there. If it is database, two tables data, I can compare using joins or not there. Happily, I can use the support of joins to compare one file with what? Another file. Say something, guys. To compare one file with another file, we can take the support of joins like anything or not there. Java application uses IO stream to talk. 1 minute. I'll give the clarity. Introduction to Spring Boot Data JPA. Spring Data is the main module. In that module, all database connectivity related, data related operations will be there. Okay. It is having multiple sub-module. How many, 30 plus sub-modules are there. In that one, we are going to learn two modules. One is Spring Data JPA for interacting with what? SQL database software, right? Regular Oracle, MySQL kind of thing. Other one is what? Spring Data MongoDB. This is to interact with what? NoSQL database software. What, guys? There is a NoSQL database software called MongoDB is there. Okay, already we discussed it a little bit. When you have structured data, go for SQL database software. Any employee who joined should give max of 30 details as part of registration. That means attributes are fixed. What you want to collect is clarity is there. What you want to give also clarity is there. Then go for Oracle MySQL kind of SQL database software. I have an e-commerce project. I sell every product. All product information I want to store in a single place. Okay. Is there any chance of having common attributes for all products? Is there any chance of having common attributes for all products, guys? Is there any chance of having all common attributes for all products, guys? Uh, mm. Everyone getting my point, my dear? Come on. Super. Give me 2 minutes, guys. Yeah. Okay. Can I store all products information in a single table? No, because common attributes are not there. Cloth industry product details are different from electronic industry product detail. Electronic industry product details are different from electrical industry product details, right? Attributes are not same. So in that situation, better to go for NoSQL database software. In that one, who is market leader? MongoDB. So when you have a structured data, prefers SQL database software. From Spring, if you want to, from Spring data module, if you want to talk with what? SQL database software, prefer what? Spring data JPA module. Okay, same thing. You want to talk with a NoSQL database software because you want to maintain what? Unstructured data. Then prefer what? Spring data MongoDB. Then prefer working with what, guys? Spring data MongoDB. Is that clear, my dear? Come on, everyone. Nearly 30 plus submodules are there in Spring Data, Spring Boot Data module. Comfortable, my dear? Come on. Yes. Java application interacts with the files using IO string. Same Java application interacts with what? SQL database software, not NoSQL. Right now, my focus is on SQL only. Either by using JDBC or by using what? OR mapping. JDBC we already know, regular JDBC of advanced Java. OR mapping is the new one. We are assembled here to understand what is OR mapping today. Because Hibernate, IBATs, Spring ORM, Spring Data JPA, all these are allowing us to develop the persistence logic in what? ORM style. ORM means object relational mapping. Long back, I discussed a little about what? OR mapping. What is there? No queries. One record means one object. 10 records means 10 objects. We play with object, they indirectly play on the records. We play with object, they indirectly play on what? Records. Everyone getting my point there or not there? Say something, guys. Yeah, Java application uses IO stream to interact with what? Files. Same Java application uses what? JDBC or OR mapping. Be active. The only way of staying active is be interactive. Respond. Utter the statements along with me or respond to my discussions. Okay, guys. Now the question is, we have two options, JDBC and OR mapping. OR mapping is the best, but we should find out what are the problems with the JDBC now, boss. Yes or no? Na? Files are bad because they have some problems. Okay, now SQL database software is good. Right now, my focus is only on SQL. Okay, instead of file, SQL database is good. But in SQL, to talk with SQL, we have OR mapping support, JDBC. JDBC is bad. OR mapping is good. So we should understand limitations of JDBC first now, my dear. Super. If you use plain JDBC, that means regular JDBC, as the persistence technology to interact with what? RDBMS database software, the following limitations are there. Number one, JDBC logics use what? SQL queries, and these SQL queries are what? database software dependent queries. Persistence logic is database software dependent or not there? The persistence logic is what? Database software dependent. Changing the database software of the project is very difficult process or not there? Changing the database software is definitely going to be what? Very difficult process. We need to write lots of boilerplate code. What is that? Repeating code, guys. We need to write lots of what? Boilerplate code. Nothing but what? Repeating code. Because a lot of common logics will be there or not there, guys. We write based on SQL queries. SQL queries are what? Database software dependent queries. So overall persistence logic is database software dependent or not? So changing database software is very, very complex or not there, guys. Come on. We need to write lot of boilerplate code. Array, 2-3 lines will change application to application. Remaining all are what? Dependent. Same lines now. For example, to send and execute SQL query, we need statement. To create statement, we need connection. We need to create connection. We need to activate JDBC driver by loading driver class or not. Loading driver class, creating connection, creating statement. Okay, next catching and handling exception, closing connection. All these are regular boring things are not there. Only sending and executing query, gathering results and processing results will change application to application or not there. Will definitely change application to application or not there, guys. If you use plain JDBC as the persistence technology to interact with what? RDBMS software, the following limitations are there. JDBC logics use what? SQL queries, and these SQL queries are what? Database software dependent queries. Persistence logic is database software dependent or not there, guys. Changing the database software of the project is very difficult process. What process? Very difficult process. We need to write lot of all exceptions are checked exceptions. So we are forced to catch and handle the exception or not there. Result set object is not a reuse serializable object by default. So to send result set object data or records over the network, again we need to convert them into list of entity objects, list of Java Bean objects. Recollect mini project. In DAO we got result set. Before sending those records to service, what we did, we converted each record into an object. We added all the objects to list collection. Then we send list of those objects to what? Service class. Come on. Say something, guys. So that is definitely complex process or not there, guys. To send its data over the network, we need to convert what? Result set object data to other collections data. All collections in Java are serializable object by default. What object, guys? Serializable. Okay, these many problems are there, guys. To overcome all these problems, use what? OR mapping persistence logic with the support of what? ORM JPA softwares like Hibernate, Hibernate, TopLink, and etc. Okay, then what is JPA, sir? JPA is a software specification that provides rules and guidelines to create ORM software. Like JPA is like Java course browser. Hibernate, Hibernate is okay. All Eclipse Link, all these are faculties who teach classes according to course browser. For all of them, course browser is the common document or not there. Hibernate, Hibernate is ORM softwares are like banks in India. Banks in India means what? SBI, Axis Bank, HDFC Bank. For all these banks, who provides rules and guidelines? RBI. ORM softwares are like what? Jio, Airtel, VI, all these things. But for all these things, who provides the common rules and guidelines, guys? For all these things, who provide common rules and guidelines? Okay, TRI. TRI is like JPA. TRI is like what? JPA. That means JPA gives rules and guidelines to create ORM software. JPA is a theory of what? OR mapping. ORM software is practical of what? OR mapping. Note. OR mapping allows to develop what? Objects-based persistence logic without SQL queries as what? Database software independent persistence logic. As what? Database software independent persistence logic. What is OR mapping or what? ORM. Mapping every record to an object is called what? Object of Java class or Java bean is basically called OR mapping, my near. Come on. Super. Now listen. What is definition of OR mapping? The process of mapping or linking. What guys? The process of mapping or linking Java class with table. Java class properties with DB table columns and making the objects of Java class representing DB table records. The objects of Java class representing what? DB table records is technically called as what? OR mapping. Technically called as what? OR mapping. Are you getting my point, my dear? Come on. Got the clarity, my dear? I want reply from you people, guys. Come on. I hope everyone convinced with me, guys. Yeah, listen. Class with table. Class properties with table column. And we make objects of Java class representing DB table record having synchronization. That means if you modify object data, they reflect in what? Table rows. If you modify table row, they reflect in what? Objects. Okay, that is nothing but what? OR mapping. So that means we are not going to work with queries. We work with objects. You want to insert record? Create an object, fill with the data, give that object to what? ORM software that internally collects the data. Internal uses JDBC and SQL query, insert the record. You want to update the record. Already object is there representing record. You update the object, record is update. You want to read the record. You read the object data, indirectly record is read. You want to delete the record. You mark the object for deletion. Okay, later it will be deleted, but internally what? Our record will be deleted or not there. That means, are you going to play with objects? Are you going to play with SQL queries? I'm going to play with what? Objects. I'm definitely going to play with what? Objects. No doubt in that. Comfortable, my dear? Come on. The process of mapping or linking Java class with what? DB table. Java class properties with what? DB table columns and making the objects of Java class representing what? DB table record. Having synchronization between them is called as what? OR mapping. Synchronization between objects and table records is nothing but the modification done in what? Objects will reflect to DB table records and vice versa. What is there? Vice versa. This is my class, my dear. This is my class. Come on. This is my table. Okay. How many columns are there in the table, guys? Employee number, name, salary. This is my class. Number, name, salary. There are not there, guys. Number, name, salary. Here, getter, setter method. Your OR mapping configurations are not there. Your employee is mapped with what? EMP table. Your properties are mapped with what? Table columns. Properties are mapped with what? Table columns. So, how many records are there here? 2 records. Are mapped with how many objects? 2 objects. First object, first record. Second object, second record. Got it? Okay. See? Yeah. Where these configurations will happen? Initially XML or annotation. We prefer annotation. See, class is mapped with the table. Properties are mapped with the columns. Okay, now listen. In between ORM software will be there or not there. Okay, it makes objects representing table rows. Here I modify object data. It will reflect to table row. Here I modify table row. It will reflect to what? Object. If you modify object data, it will reflect to table row. If you modify table row, it will reflect to what? Object. Say something, guys. Come on. Convinced with me or not there, guys? Here we give all persistence instructions to what? ORM software in the form of what? Objects. And the ORM framework generates what? Database software specific SQL queries dynamically. We think we are working with objects and we are giving everything to ORM software in the form of object. But this ORM framework internally uses JDBC query. JDBC code plus SQL queries are not there. But what's the advantage? You change Oracle to MySQL. ORM software generate query according to Oracle. According to MySQL. I change it to one more data. The ORM software generates the queries to what? According to that data. But as a developer who is dealing with the Java application, I'll be playing with objects only now, boss. These objects will remain same for all database softwares. Can I say OR mapping persistence logic is database software independent persistence logic? Yes or no? Na? Are objects na, boss? See, Oracle, ORM software generated Oracle queries internally, but I'm playing with objects only. Change it to MySQL. Now ORM software generates what? MySQL queries, but I'm still playing with objects. Am I writing queries? Queries are dynamically generated. So that's why, can I say OR mapping persistence logic is what? Database software independent persistence logic or not there? Because they allow us to develop what? Objects based persistence logic. Got it, my dear? Come on. List of ORM software. Hibernate from Softtree or Red Hat. iBait is from Apache. Toplink from Oracle Corporation. Link from Eclipse. OJB from Apache. Getting my point, my dear? Come on. Yes. JPA is a specification. ORM is the implementation. ORM is the implementation of what? JPA specification. JPA means Java Persistence API. Jakarta Persistence API old. OJB means what? Object to Java bin. In OR mapping, the objects that are representing records can be treated as what? Actors. Playing the roles of performing one or other code operation at a time. Once the given code operation is over, the object can be used for other code operation. Come on. Can be ready for garbage collection now, my dear. Come on, guys. In OR mapping, Java class objects are like actors. I can use those objects to play 4 roles. Insert operation, update operation, delete operation, select operation. I can use them to play one of the 4 roles or not. Once work is over, come on. They can be either for garbage collection or for other purpose. What do you say, guys? Come on. All the ORM softwares are framework. Internally uses what? JDBC to generate JDBC code and SQL query as required for underlying database software based on the objects-based persistence instruction received from what? Developer through Java application. Convinced, my dear? Come on. Yeah, here is my developer. Develops what? OR mapping logic using one or other ORM framework that internally uses what? JDBC technology. That internally uses driver to interact with what? Database. As a developer, I will write objects-based logic using framework that internally is JDBC and talks with what? Database software. So what is the final conclusion? In JDBC, we develop the persistence logic using SQL queries because of that database software dependent persistence logic is coming. Say in OR mapping, JDBC is there, but internally there, indirectly there. As a developer, you do everything through object. Since objects-based persistence logic is what? Database software independent persistence logic. We can say this persistence logic is database software independent persistence logic or not there, guys. That's great. That's good. Tell me, guys, this one. Tell me here, where is this? Google Drive base. Yeah, tell me, guys, what is this? 2025. This one, no? This one only, no? Not SPBMS. SPBMS. This one. Hey, what's happening? 26, na? Right. 26. Even not this. Arre. What's happening, guys? This one? New folder. Spring Boot data JP. Right. Everyone understood? Files and a SQL database means SQL database. JDBC and OR mapping means OR mapping. But what are the ORM frameworks that are there in the market? Hibernate, iBetis, all are there. Where is Spring Data JPA? Don't worry. Spring Data JPA is not a ORM framework. This is a module in Spring and Spring Boot providing abstraction on what? Other ORM framework. Already one framework is there. On the top of the framework, these Spring modules are providing abstraction or not there. So, Spring Boot Data JPA, guys. File upload. E-drive. Where is this? Class content. Where is this? Spring. Next. 710 Spring Boot Data JPA. View as a list. Session 1. Save open. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day.